Hey, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Dan Know Crypto. On this channel, we show you guys how to make simple, effective, and easy moves in the cryptocurrency ecosystems. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're having a fantastic day. We are here at the end of the week. We are here on Friday, the Freaky Friday that we like to call it, the Freaky Crypto Friday. And so we got a lot of stuff happening in the markets. Okay, it's like a lot of talks of AI, AI valuations, investments into OURBIT AI, NVIDIA still holding the top spot in providing the infrastructure and the necessary equipment to be able to have all of this AI running in the data centers and the AI centers and all these things. We're getting into closer and closer to the Clarity Act in conjunction with the Genius Act for crypto regulation for banks, the states, companies, institutions, how we are going to go into the next, 10, 15, 20 years of a new money system. Now, my big theory and, thread connecting the dots is that all of this stuff that's coming out with the e-files, with the corruption, with the connection with the whatever is controlling the deep state and has all of this baggage on all of these politicians and these people, okay? It's been building up as a PSYOP, CIA operation for, 60 years or so, maybe even longer. And it looks like what they're trying to do is blow up the whole system to then usher in a new one. Because in order for you to gain full control and power, you have to take out the people that have been controlling the everything, or maybe you gave them a sense of control just so you could blackmail them to then come under and say, this is the new system. This is where I think there's multiple PSYOPs within PSYOPs happening as we speak. But all of this ties in, oddly enough, to crypto, ties in to AI, and AI is very much a DNA strand, a double helix with crypto, with cryptography, because how are these AI agents and how are AGI, agenic models going to operate inside of finance? They can't use the old banking system. They can't use those rails. They're going to use blockchain rails. So pretty soon, it's going to be full autonomous operations happening with chat models and AI models and agents that are going to, without you having to prompt it, do all of your company's finances. Now, there's a caveat to this because as we're doing all this, we have all these chat models, we have all these LLMs, we have all these different things that you can use. Like you can use Claude, you can use Grok, you can use ChatGPT, you can use Gemini, you can use, there's a bunch of them that you can use. Some are more regulated than others. Some are more locked down. Some are more private, and some have no safeguards at all, and basically could be, now that we're seeing breaking in the news, is that these AI models and chat models can hack other models and access key information and actually create a whole conversation with each other to then manipulate another chat model on its own doing. So this is crazy. So this is what they found this. This is what's crazy is that Elon warned about this years ago, that if an AI is able to then take on its own autonomous action to then, in its own survival, if it's told it's going to be shut down, it would threaten the person that's going to shut down and even try and threaten to then kill it if it got shut down. So what do you think might happen if we have these AI models that aren't safeguarded to then release them onto the world? It could end not very pretty. So this is this is also a side narrative. It's like there's the quantum threat. Yeah, a quantum threat. But really, that's the threat, is that what if one of these models goes haywire and pulls an iRobot where Lucy or whatever the AI supermind that they made in that movie, if you remember iRobot, the main AI was the ultimate enemy that basically was ended up being at the end the culprit for the entire scenario of the robots flipping and having to cause. I don't want to ruin it for. I ruined it for you. Sorry if you haven't seen iRobot yet. Then I don't know what. I mean, geez. So go see iRobot. iRobot's playing out in real time. So, but this all ties into crypto because crypto has to be used. But then you think about how the Clarity Act, the Genius Act, all this stuff of the market getting clarity, and it all lines up with a consolidation with the manipulation, the liquidations that are happening with what we found out with the insider trading and all kinds of stuff with Jane Street. Jane Street apparently was the reason for the mass deleveraging and depegging of UST back in 2022 for Terra Luna, causing a whole domino effect with FTX crash. And Jane Street is connected with BlackRock. They're connected deeply in where a lot of our big money is. And then apparently they were possibly the cause for 1010, this most recent liquidation event. That was another deleveraging event and depegging event, very similar, but with USDE with Athena, which was a stable coin that was highly leveraged and used as collateral on Binance's platforms, OURBIT, and a few others, but mainly highly on Binance. And so because there was all of that happening, caused the liquidation. Jane Street apparently knew about it all, and they were able to profit from it billions of dollars. So in all of this, with the dead bodies floating to the surface, with that being a thing, and Tom Lee's kind of hinted at it, he's like, look, you know, there's companies that completely went bankrupt, that disappeared, that literally got wiped off the face of the earth when that happened. When that happened, that was it for some of these companies. So what I think is probably being planned, like, here's the thing. I think a lot of what this narrative is like left versus right. It's bull versus bear, pro crypto versus anti crypto. You know, we think these are the battles that are happening, but I think they're positioning strategies. So it's political donors funding both sides. You got to think institutions are long and short, and exchanges lobbying while accumulating. So it's like, I think what is this political discourse? It's like, I think there's entities that are basically playing both sides. And that's always been the thing, is like, you have, you know, someone who's supplying the guns, then you got someone who's supplying the drugs, and then if it could be the same entity, they're like, we're gonna fuel the fire here, and we're gonna fuel the fire here, so it causes confusion, and then they're just profiting off of on both sides. So this has always been happening, and anywhere where there's money games being played, and I don't think that's ever really going to change. I think that's always still going to exist, but how do we thrive in this environment? How do we survive and thrive and profit and be prosperous, knowing that that game will always exist? I think that might be the ultimate question. But what you guys have to do is smash up that like button. It really helps the live stream. It helps support the channel and the brand, and it gets the message out there for us to be vigilant and be, I guess, like bullishly neutral in these markets right now, because even though we have been in a bear trend, we could go to 50K. This, what I'm talking about as the potential, scenario of why this is all kind of accumulating and why Bitcoin is continuing to go down is because it could have been I think it's probably way worse than we realize. Like, everything that's happened over the past year or so has probably been a lot worse than we even realized. And It's just been hard a little bit to get out of, quote, that bullish mindset that we had going into the Trump administration. We had a big, I mean, we were built up. You think we got buttered up a lot. And then it was just like, oh, you know, so I get it. I really get it. So it's hard for us to kind of get out of that bullish mindset and get and be neutral and kind of then start to think, okay, yeah, we're probably getting into a bear scenario here. You know, not a lot of people flipped bearish when it was the right time to do so, you know? And so now, if you're like, and those same people are in the mindset that, oh, now the bear market is starting. Now it's starting. It's like, no, it already started like months and months ago. It already started. We're getting now towards the end of it, which is when everyone decides that that's the start. That's what's hilarious, is that you're going to see everyone think that now is the start. Like, oh, this is the start of the bear market going to the next year, but they don't realize that they're coming to the tail end, and it just took them too long to become bearish. That's all. It just took you too long. You were a little late on becoming bearish. Now you should be becoming bullish. Isn't that funny how we have to flip the psychology, but it's just how things work. But I think, yeah, 50K Bitcoin will signal a great inverse perpetual entry, print BTC to 130K. Exactly, my friend. See, you know what you're talking about, sir. You know what you're talking about. Let's go, Emmanuel. Manuel with the juice. So yeah, so we actually had one of those entries. And it was one of our more legendary entries that we had in our first time trading. And we'll show you. And we sighed about it. We were like, ugh, you know, it's kind of depressing sometimes looking at your old trades and wishing those things were still open, especially with some of the price action that we've been experiencing. It's just like, man, see if I can find it, because it's like, it's one of those pictures that when you look back into it, you're like, I could have just had those open for just a little bit longer. There it is. Okay, so in pre-ETF, we had an entry on Bitcoin and an inverse perpetual and a USDT trade contract. And the entry was at between 32,000 and 35,000. And those trades just like were printing like an ATM, because we managed to catch very much almost what was close to the bottom after the run from 16,000. And it was pretty juicy. So it's possible that we could get that same entry, timing it. Now, you know, we're probably not going to time it perfect, but this is what we're going to do on this channel. And if you guys want to follow with us as the Dano Dojo crew, we're going to get this legendary entry on Bitcoin. We're just, it's already done. It's set in stone. Okay. Set in stone, in game type of stuff. We're going to get the legendary entry on Bitcoin, okay, because we have been tracking this market. Our TA has been pretty dead on. It's been pretty good. And so I'm almost like kind of contrary middle ground between a lot of TA that's happening currently in the market. So I follow very specific people, okay? I only listen to a few people, but I like to gather information. I like to see what everyone else is saying. I'll get the For You section of everyone and their consensus of what they think is going to happen. But what I do is I just go to Jason Casper. His track record right now with selling the actual freaking top, shorting the absolute top, and being able to cash out and buy a house, and literally like just buy a house cash, probably just was able to literally buy the house cash, brand new house, and that's a track record. Who the hell else have you seen do that on the timeline? Time the top, buy a house. Not very many people. So shut up. I'm not going to listen to you. I'm going to listen to Jason. So it's pretty simple. It's like that. direct results in real life instead of yapping on Twitter. Show me the results and stop yapping. See, I'll tell you when I've had results and when I've bonked myself. This is the whole point. So Jason Casper, who's a lot smarter than I am at these markets, he thinks it's going 40K. He thinks the end Band-Aid ripped is 40K. Okay? He's been DCAing Bitcoin since 2018. It also took him 4 or 5 years to become a profitable trader. Someone tried to call me out in the Ticker Bitcoin chat, was like, oh, well, how much money have you made so far in crypto? I don't know. Do you know how much money you've made and lost in crypto? Do you have a mega spreadsheet tracking all of it? Probably not. Most people don't. You don't even know what your cost basis is for everything. So don't even get me freaking started. Everyone always wants to talk shit, but do you have a master accountant tracking all your stuff? Probably not. You're a degenerate. So don't talk to me about how much money I've made in crypto. You probably don't even know how much you've made. Give me a break. Don't play with me. And then he says, oh, and I told him, I was like, yeah, I've probably made about $40,000, $50,000 total trading, like actual realized profits. And then I've given a lot of it back to the market. I've got cooked on FTX. I over traded. I mean, I've probably at break even. Yeah, probably at break even. He says, oh, so then you're not profitable. I thought so. I thought so. I was like, all right, bro. Whatever makes you feel good about yourself. I was like, I don't need you and Turbo in the fucking chat trying to give me a hard time. But I was like, oh, it's all good. It's just fuel. It's just fuel. But here's the deal. I'm not going to give up. Not going to give up. I get better. I learn. I have the awareness, and that's going to be my superpower, my skill. And that's it. And you guys are going to do this with me, because me analyzing and self-analyzing how I'm breaking down stuff and learning is only helping you, because then that's how we all learn. And this is what me and Headband talked about this morning. We had a meeting. And by the way, guys, if you want to come into these meetings and the Deno Dojo crew and the Signals crew, click on the Telegram link in the description. And at 10 o'clock every day on Monday through Friday, you can come in and have a live stream, pre-live stream. And it's basically just like a mastermind meetings call. We're going to be talking about the best entries that we're going to be getting into. We're only going to be trading 4 coins: BTC, ETH, Pepe, Doge, and then Sol. Sorry, so 5 coins. 5 coins. We're only focusing on those. That's it. You want to know why? Because those are the most highly traded coins on the entire market, hands down. Trading volume, bar none. The patterns are easier to recognize. And these are going to be the entries that we are going to get for the bull market that are going to literally change our lives. And we're going to do it together. There's no gatekeeping. There's no bullshit. There's no paywall. It's just, you want to come in. We're going to learn this together. And that's it. We want to take this seriously and stop playing a bunch of games and getting yapping back and forth at each other. Let's do this. Because we've had 4 or 5 years of all this shit to deal with. And all we had to do was just rally together and not focus on all the noise. And were we successful in doing that? 20% maybe. So now it's time to lock in. It's time to actually take it seriously. Do we want to do this or not? So what is more the probable likely scenario here with Bitcoin is that it's a bear flag. We have a bear flag forming. The last time we had this bear flag form, it actually gave us a fake out. I mean, this was like a real true fake out for a bull trap here. on the 4-hour chart. And you can see this is where we hit all those levels. These levels, these prices were represented by order blocks. These order blocks ended up getting smashed through, okay? And the order blocks, when they're revealed like this, are a lot of the times really good resistance points. When they are red, the red order block specifically is where you get high selling, which reveals a good, pretty much like a high chance of resistance. This is what we called the other day on the live stream 2 days ago, I guess. And we said, look, it's probably good chance that we reject off of this resistance here, and we're going to push down into this triangle that's forming. Now, what they could do, meaning the market makers, the people that are you know, putting high volume frequency trades into all these different platforms, could be hitting down into this level, trade it right back up, and it can just quote what I call pinch in the clinch, and it just has to make a decision. And the decision is that we're closer to the green order blocks here of where we have the next part of this technical analysis for Bitcoin. Is we have a few things here to point out, okay? We have that the RSI could definitely get back down into below 10, okay? So the RSI could definitely go back down into the 10 area here. Okay. That would line up with Bitcoin hitting the 200 SMA, 200 week moving average, which would be around 58,000 or around there. So this would be an average price. So then we probably could actually pull up now one of the indicators, that is the volume volume profile. So you can use a visible range or a fixed range. So fixed range, you're going to be dragging your parameters from what candles and what area of the range you want it to show of whatever your value area high is, your value area low, and your point of control. So the point of control is going to be the weighted volume price of what the fair value of Bitcoin is. So how you can do that is you can actually just go into the indicators, and we haven't used this in a long time. We've been mainly being support resistance, eyeing support resistance, and trying to match that with what is, you know, kind of like grapevine news happening, and then we'll see the narrative hit, and then, okay, well, the chart was showing that before even all this was even showing, so then we try and correlate that with support and resistance and order blocks. So we've only been using these indicators, just order block, support and resistance, which is not even an indicator. It's just support and resistance based on the time, based on what time frame you're in. So what you're going to do is you're going to do volume. You can do volume profile. Just type in volume profile, and you can do volume. You have fixed ranged volume profile or visible range. So we're going to do the visible range, and that visible range we're going to go on the daily. So what it's giving us is we have a fair value here at what looked like it was trying to go to 66. Yes, we had a fair value at 66, and then we have a high value node sitting up here at 88,000. But this is on the daily. So it might give us actually a little bit better data for a fixed range if we want to do it inside of this bear flag triangle forming on the chart. So let's take off the visible range, and we'll put on the fixed. Do we take it off? Oh, there it is. So we'll put on the fixed range volume profile. And so what that'll do is now you're inside of it. You can grab the range and you pull it from here. And then what that is going to give you what that's going to give you here is inside of the triangle, you have a point of control. So that point of control is now sitting right at about 60, it's about 66,000, 67.3. And this is how you can get your point of control, your average volume weighted price for Bitcoin. Now, I've really just been liking having my chart look as clean as I can. Just try to like take all of this, you know, just take as much of the old drawings and mess out of there. just get all this stuff cleaned up. And we really just want to focus on, if we go into the daily or even the weekly too, go to the weekly. And since that chart is so marked up a bunch, we can actually go to probably a cleaner chart, maybe something like Coinbase, and we will do a quick highlight of all those. We'll clean that up. And Bitcoin is just ready. It's so ready to get to 52. It's just ripped the Band-Aid off already, and let's get this thing going, because here is the money shot here for Bitcoin. So if you guys remember, we'll chart gold real quick. We'll pull up gold. I want to look at this chart and now look at gold. Okay, we're gonna go to gold, and gold has successfully and overshot the target for the cup and handle breakout that we had been charting for, I don't know, past year and a half or so, 2 years or so on this channel. We had noticed that gold was forming this massive cup and handle, and the breakout was actually only like, the target was like a clean, you know, going to 3K. But because of the nature of how the whole market shifted into like gold just surging, and like our alts got destroyed, Bitcoin didn't do as good over the past year and a half as what we wanted to. Compared to this, we had the inverse of Bitcoin. So if you put Bitcoin on this chart and compare it into gold, Bitcoin went the complete opposite direction. Like it literally went the complete opposite direction. Look. So it was like, bam, and then gold was going this, and Bitcoin went literally straight down to the opposite direction. So, but why I'm pointing this out is because I think, I think this is just a speculation, dubious speculation, is that if gold was able to surpass its cup and handle breakout by like 2-3 times, I mean, it really did it. I mean, if you think usually cup and handle patterns like break out of the depth of the cup and then have a little bit of consolidation, you know, but this thing just went zoom. I mean, it went boom. It went up 247% from the bottom of the handle. Okay. So with that being said, you go to my chart, which is the Bitcoin CME chart, which has that same setup, but then you look, it did the inverse of what gold did. It didn't have that massive breakout. It actually just only did what is the traditional length of a cup and handle breakout. Look, and didn't even fully do it. It only did it like 75%, right? It didn't do it. If it wanted to do the full depth of the cup, then it would do like what gold did and do a 331% off of a 243% depth cup of the breakout. Here's the bottom of the handle. Here's the target, $220,000 per Bitcoin. Now, when is that going to happen? I thought it was going to happen here. I thought it was going to happen in October and September of 2025. But guess what happened instead? We freaking got rug pulled by freaking Jane Street and Binance and the USD decoupling, the depegging, another freaking way that it was perfectly set up to do what we were all thinking it was going to do. But we got rug pulled freaking again. We got rug pulled again. So this TA was pretty sound, actually. We would be up here. But instead, gold did it. Gold did it. And our altcoins got completely smashed and went back down to 2022 lows. So I think if we're going to have anything happen here, we're probably gonna get we're probably gonna get 52,000. The truck gets freaking backed up, and then this is where the real market, bull market, starts. Right here, it lines up perfect with everything being put into this portion, and then it can finally hit this line and go. Everyone thinks they know what's going to happen. They think they know everything. I don't think I know shit. But you know what I do know is that I have a great skill of instinct and intuition, and I'm getting better at listening to it. And every single trader who has ever made a massive trade will tell you it was not about luck. It was not about the technical analysis that they did. It wasn't about all the research. It wasn't about anything. It was that they were able to ignore the noise, clear their mind, clear their brain, and focus on their instinct, their intuition, the feeling. And then they were able to strike because they had less murkiness to be able to focus. And you can use this skill on anything. I'm trying to use it for getting a better head on this market, and also in my own businesses, my brand, and all that stuff. And we can use it for everything. Because I think that's how some of this market and some of this, the media, the whatever you want to say, CT is designed to just like make you confused as shit, and then you don't know what to do. But here's the one thing that I do know. The market likes to trade Bitcoin, ETH, Dogecoin, Pepe, Sol. Love it. They love it. The big money loves trading those coins. They also like holding it spot too. So here's what we're going to do. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. On this channel, on this community, in this community, the Dano Dojo crew, we are going to just get better and better at trading, at spot buying, at surviving into this market. We're not going anywhere, my friends. So what we're going to do is we're going to be on the exchanges that we have in the description. We're going to be doing trading challenges on every single one of them. So on PHEMEX, on Apex, and on OURBIT, we're going to be opening up trades on all of those platforms at the exact same time that we put in an entry on 2 different prop valuations. One of them is going to be breakout, and this other one, this new one that Headband just we were talking about this morning, it's called VDEX. Let me see. Let me make sure I pull up the right one. Yeah, it's called VDEX. So right now they're in beta, and it's a typical perp dex where you can connect your wallet, you can trade using your on-chain wallet. But inside of this, they have a challenge where if you can paper trade with $1,000 and you can show that you're profitable, then they will 5-to-1 ratio pay you whatever you made as the bonus. And then you can use your referral code and all that stuff. So, but what we're going to do is at the same time we're doing this challenge with the VDEX, we're going to be opening up another breakout prop evaluation for the $1,000 challenge, and we're going to put in the same entries. So then at the same time, we're going to pass the VDEX valuation, we're going to pass the breakout evaluation, And at the same time, we're going to be putting those same entries in on PHEMEX, OURBIT, and Apex. So then we're getting the entries, not actual real accounts, and we're trading paper accounts, and it's going to help us pass. So at the same time, you're not feeling like you're being left out of the market because you're just trading paper, but we're actually, because I thought about that too. I passed 2 breakout pop valuations, and the trades I took were amazing. If I would have took the same trades as I was doing the prop evaluation with real money on my other exchanges, I would have been able to freaking make the damn same trades. So this is how you can literally like have in your mindset, like you're just eliminating the fear of getting that progression to be able to do it. So it's like, this is what we're going to do. We're hacking this shit. So if you guys want to do it with me, this is how we're going to do it. We're meeting every day at 10 a.m. in the Telegram. We're going to set the entries. We're going to take them. We're going to establish the stop losses. We're going to establish how much we're going to risk. And it's really only going to be 10% of the account. If we're starting with 200, we're only going to risk 10%. If we're starting with 500, we're only risking 10%. And as every time we make trades and we close them in profit, say the account gets up to 1,000, now we're still only going to risk 10% of the account. So it's like, that's how we're going to do it. And then we're just going to be robotic about it. So hit a W in the chat if you're still with me, and if you're still here in crypto and you want to become more profitable, get better, and yeah, just let me know. Because we've proven like we can do it. We've done it. We've ran accounts up and we've burned ourselves too. So we know the emotional stress and what it actually takes to even stay profitable. A lot of it's just a mind game. A lot of it's really, it's not about oh, you don't know what the market's going to do. No, a lot of the times, like it's pretty high. You can tell. Look, I just did this TA yesterday on Sol. All I did was pull a Fibonacci extension. I see where they keep ranging this thing. You can see the range. You can see it forming right now. And look, it's easy. When you're on a 5-minute chart, even, you can see where previous support was forming. You can see where there is support forming down on the low end as well. Like you got 75 and you got 80. And then you can see where it rejected off of the 786, which is a clean, easy fib level that rejects off of a lot. You got price that always bounces from a golden area, which is 0.38 or 0.5, goes up to the 786, rejects off the 786, goes back down to entry, which is where the market initially put high liquidity in. You could also get that revealed by the volume profile, because then a high volume node would probably be revealed as a point of control at around this price. Point of control, volume match. This is a good bounce level. So right now, even just right now, we could be timing an entry in a limit right at 81, where the market is probably at a high chance of bouncing and hitting right back up to the 382 like this. I don't make the rules, okay? Now this would be a pretty damn good Sol setup, Sol trade here, long trade. Go for the long position. You get in here. You're gonna set your stop loss down a little bit into this candle. Because that was a rip candle, and you can see that was a that was a bull flag. You can see it went up, got the pull here, flagged, boom. And so in that, you get that entry right on that bounce point, right on that support. You're going to set your stop loss down at a I'd say at a, see, that's going down 2%. So if it went down 2%, it went down 1%, and you're at a 10x leverage, you're now negative 10%. So if you had a tight stop loss, you would have it at 1% at 10%. 1% down at a 10x leverage, or if you're really getting degen, you're going over 10x, and then that's just going to up your ratios a little bit. You want the target to be probably right back up to the 382. So then you're risking, it's a two, basically almost a 2-to-1 trade. You know, you're risking 10% to gain 3%. So in that 3%, it doesn't really matter what amount of margin or leverage you're using. It doesn't matter. You just need to know what your plan is. That's it. Nothing changed. Your ability of fear that, oh, if I use $1,000, I'm going to get wiped out. No, well, if your account is $1,000, you only need to be risking 100. So then if you're willing to risk the $100 and then you lose $10 on the 10% drawdown, you know that that's what you're going to lose. But then knowing that if that's the probability and now you only have $990, that's still fine. You didn't blow the account. You only risked 10%. But now if you successfully made this trade and it goes up 3% on a 10x, it all depends on how much money. It doesn't matter. Did you use $100? Did you use 1,000? And that's how it doesn't matter. It doesn't freaking matter. That's how you can make $300 or $200 in 10 minutes. Sounds easy, right? Sounds easy, right? How I just explained it sounded pretty fucking easy. But it's not. Because if it was, everyone would do it. Everyone would be profitable trading. Everyone would be, a legendary trader. But you're basically battling yourself. And, that's a big one. You're battling yourself. You can see here, look at how we're getting a little bit of that bouncy action on the 236 here. So that's where it gets a little tricky because you can see there's two supports revealed in here. It could be 236. It could be this one right here that we marked right under the 236 is the $81. This was like right where it hit that bottom. You can see now that level could be getting front ran. And this could be also an entry as well. But you have to be patient because I don't know. I feel more so it hits that 81, a little stronger bounce on that 81 than here. And this is where you can just get just a wicked entry right now. So let me know, guys. If you take this sold trade, let me know. I might take it. I'm going to move some stuff around. I might take the soul trade here and just set the limit at 81 and just watch it go. Okay. So let me know if you take this trade and post it in the Discord and let me know. You can always, if you take an entry or take a trade, you can always let me know in the Discord. I want to know what you guys are trading. It's the whole point. And also you can't leave a brother hanging. You can't leave us hanging. If you see a mega entry, let us know, I try my best to let you guys know. So if there's something that I'm seeing and it's like, we can do this together. We can do this together. But yeah, it's going to be a little tricky. But I see it. It's either going to get that nice little bounce off the 236 here, or it just gets right down back in here. And you always got to make sure you're looking at what's happening with Bitcoin at the same time, because that's the thing. All of a sudden, Bitcoin could just start to pull some strength and hit a reversal. You can see on the 5-minute, it hit up and wicked into this order block, but then look, it's got another one to go. Look, it's got 64 down here. So if it goes down to this So so you're watching Bitcoin. You're like, is Bitcoin going to go and hit here? If it does, then of course, then that's an easy one. Then Sol's going to go down to 80. Might even go a little lower. Really get you. But then that's going to be a nice bounce point, because then if you look and Bitcoin is bouncing off of that level and then tries to do a little recovery, little V shape, a little something like this, a little bop, and goes up, inverse head and shoulders. All right. That'd be a short-term trade. Be a nice little scalp. All right, well, thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Make sure you guys are hitting all the like buttons and the things and clicking all the links in the description. I really appreciate it. Make sure you check out all my favorite exchanges and platforms. Jupe.ag is great. Sol perps trading, love it. I'll have a referral link for that soon. I have two different ones because I've traded on my regular Sol wallet and also on my MetaMask wallet for Jupe.ag. So I'd have like two different referral links, but I'd probably just use the one I've traded on the most. Then we got one for PHEMEX. We love PHEMEX. Great option for if you want to do DEX trading, spot trading, inverse perpetuals. Not a lot of exchanges have the ability to use your crypto as the collateral to then put in some trades. So we like to have that option for you guys. And also a decentralized option, which I think Apex has built one of the best platforms, and they've been doing it for a while. Even before people were all talking about perp dexes and farming perp dexes when it was cool, we were using Apex and testing it out way back when it was like a Bybit DeFi option, because you couldn't KYC as a US customer with Bybit, but then if you downloaded the app, you just double tap the middle button and it would flip and go into Apex. And so this was years ago. And now just Apex OMNI is just like fully fledged decentralized platform that you can connect your wallet to. And we like it. And we've been enjoying just kind of navigating kind of how they've upgraded the platform. They've added some AI features. They've added just all kinds of cool stuff. So yeah, check it out. Get the link in the description. Incentive bonuses, you guys get 20% back on any of the trades that you get, and commission and stuff like that. So it's reciprocal. So anything that you're doing, I'm doing, we all get percentages back. And when we set up the vault is really cool. The vault is a feature where we actually set up our own pools, and then we can trade from those, and we can also start building up as traders, as a community on the leaderboard, and we can dominate. And then check out OURBIT. Right now, OURBIT, if you see, there's a mega entry forming with Pepe. You can see that this is the actual range of entries that we could get for longs for Pepe is all in here. So we got to wait and see where we can get that entry at maybe 0.003 or in between this range. And then we can be off to the races on a mega Pepe entry. But we're going to be doing it with every platform, Apex, OURBIT, and PHEMEX. That's how we're going to do it, just like I said. And if you want to be on, on DEX, you can actually click DEX. Like, this is why I like OURBIT. It works. It just, boom, it's fast. It works. It's not laggy. That's why I was like, I don't want to, I was like, I don't want to use Weeks. I don't like the platform. It was buggy. It's laggy. I can't even right click onto the platform. It was just bugged. I just didn't like it. I was like, if this is happening right now, it ain't getting any better anytime soon. I don't care how much liquidity is on the damn exchange. So that's just how it is. I'm pretty cutthroat when it comes to, like, I'm not gonna, the moment that I have a problem like that, and it's like I can't even display you on my live stream because your exchange won't even load, done. Now you're wasting my time. So it's like I can load these up super fast. They freaking just work. Like, they all have their things about them. So it's like, that's why I like them. I'm never going to promote something that I don't like using myself. And that's just how I operate, and that's how it's going to be. So with OURBIT, super easy to be able to just go into the trench, see what's trading on DEX, and then you can click right back into the SEX and get right back into all of these charts. But yeah, guys, make sure you're checking out all of the links in the description so we can trade together. And Make sure you're following the Telegram channel and also the Discord, because that's where you're going to get daily updates. And also we do these live streams Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. I think we covered as much as we wanted to cover today. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all we wanted to cover. Yeah, we appreciate you. And also make sure you are sharing this. And we have to see if we don't get 10, I've been trying to explain this. If we don't get 10 likes, in the first 10 minutes, the stream's bonked. If we don't get 10 likes in the first 10 minutes, YouTube, I might as well not even live stream. That's just how it works. So I really need you guys. Someone asked to see copper chart. Oh, copper chart. Copper chart. Oh, I was gold. Well, sorry, I was on my gold thing. I was like trying to. Okay, so copper chart. Yeah, I'll pull up the copper chart. But guys, you gotta freaking. Here's the thing. Gotta get 10 likes before the first 10 minutes, or they're not gonna fucking put my live stream out. They're just not. They just won't. They won't even send it to the people that are subscribed. That's just how YouTube operates. They're cutthroat. If you don't get 10 likes in the first 10 minutes, they will not send it out in the search, and then no one's gonna click on it. It's not that I suck. It's not that, I don't have good content. It's just, that's just how it is. And people are lazy. They'll like you and they won't even hit the like button. People do it all the time. They'll watch a channel for months and they won't hit the like button. They won't even subscribe because they're just so used to seeing it on their TV and they don't even want to interact. So yeah, I got you. Copper chart. Copper chart. We got to add it in the metals because we just have gold and silver right now. Gold, silver, and silver futures. Copper. All right, so let's see. There's copper futures, and then that looks like it's copper, just commodity spot. Yeah, let's do that one. Ooh, okay, so on the 5 minute, copper looks like it just hit into some support. You can see it right here. And also that support was previous resistance. So you can see here that previous support and resistance flips happening right here because you can see a little resistance right here, but that actually that bounced and became a double bottom right here, sent copper flying, and this was on the 26th. But you can see here, it was just like been trading sideways, and had a nice little pump. It's a good. Now you can see the order block at $6.14. Nice little consolidation, retrace from that high. Now this is the 5 minute. Now I'm going to go on the weekly, and we're going to look at copper on the weekly. All right, the copper on the weekly here looks like it had a wick up to $6.65 an ounce. And this was after it took a 23% plunge in July 2025. So about July, mid-year last year, copper for some reason took a 23% plunge. And it basically almost touched back into what would be its 200-week moving average. And then it started to just run. Now, in terms of the highest copper's ever been, this is the highest copper's ever been. Now, comparing this to silver, silver was coming up to what we had a cup and handle. So we've actually had silver in the 80s get up to where it was at $48 an ounce. And then in 2011, it got up to $49 an ounce. And both of those times is when they did a manipulation of the silver futures and crushed the longs. So then they wouldn't be able to break out. Okay. So they tried that again, but it didn't work. And then that's why we had silver busting up into what we called as the price our final target price was going to be 125, and we called it on the freaking money, $125 an ounce. And we said it's going to have a big sell off there, but they're just going to, at whatever point it bottoms out, they're going to buy up the dip, and then they're going to basically be ratioing and setting up new treasuries for the new money system with silver, with gold, and all the precious metals, because that's only going to get harder to mine. And if we are forward thinking, all of the shit that we need is going to need copper, silver, gold, all that stuff. And it's, yeah. And the production of it and the back order is ginormous. Like the amount of supply that companies need right now to make stuff is so low that if you want to get, like, for instance, like an audio mixer, you want to get a mixer, like my mixer that I want to buy right now is back ordered because the companies can't produce them fast enough because they can't get the mechanisms to put inside of the thing. Supply, demand. So I think silver's still on its track record to go to its X marks the spot target, which is $207 an ounce. If we're long silver, we got a next point of breakout, which would be $146 an ounce. This is a 59% move to the upside. And this is what I think is going to be happening here. We get that next point, we get resistance, and then we just go up to the next point. Gold is going to be crushing up. And I think now that it hit that resistance, it went back down. This wick is an obvious signal that it's going to go to the next point. Tether is buying more gold than countries. Gold, I think, is on track to hitting $7,000 an ounce, matched with a $7,000 S&P 500, which is literally about to happen in any point now. It's about to hit an all-time high of $7,000. And then all the while, we're looking at crypto, and we're like, crypto is going to go to 50K. So this is what's going to happen. This is going to be the narrative. It's going to go, okay, you should have never gotten to crypto. We're all stupid. Bitcoin goes to 52K. S&P is at $7,000. And gold is going to 7,000. Silver's going to $140 an ounce. And you're like, Bitcoin's at 50K. Like, you're like, what is going on? All you need to do is long, just long right here. This is where we back truck up, and with ETH. And then we need to be long gold and silver right now. And then at a point, we're going to be striking on going long crypto. That's kind of what I'm feeling. But good morning. Hey, we got Julie Kennis in the house. Let's go, Miss Julie. But yeah, that's my TA for today. That's my rapid fire TA with correlating the metals with the overall markets, with gold, with Bitcoin. And if you're wondering about the alts, because you're like, oh my God, when are we going to get our freaking alt season? Well, some coins are having their own separate alt season, like separate from all other altcoins. For instance, like Orca's been doing really well. Chain GPT all of a sudden went up 20%. What was some coins that recently went up that were just like, they were just cooking? What was it? Zeus. That Solana's Bitcoin protocol went up 25-30%. Pol was up recently. Some coins were doing well. It was like while a lot of stuff was getting nuked, we had certain projects looking like strong. So for me, that's a good signal of what, whenever we start really gaining strength, those might be the first movers and the ones that do the first runs. So like I noticed it was Polygon, it was Nakamoto Games, Pepe, Tron has been holding up pretty well. It hasn't dumped or pumped. It's just kind of been just holding steady, which I guess is a good thing. What's another one? Yeah, Orca. what was it? Help me, guys. There was a couple other coins that were they were doing really well when Bitcoin was just doing terrible. I just was noticing. I was like, dang, this is crazy. Like everything's getting cooked, but these were doing really well. But yeah, global uncertainty has everyone buying precious metals. Yeah. Well, I think not even just the global uncertainty. It's just like, yeah, it's always kind of been like a currency debasement hedge trade. Like, okay, if the currency's going to zero, then what do you hold as the as the thing? Or if we have some kind of global catastrophe, what would be the thing that you could barter with someone as what we've given value for thousands of years? It's been little shiny coins. So you have some shiny coins, you can trade with that. But then I thought about it and I was like, really, if you think about it, the things that we need to be accumulating right now cost money, right? Food, resources, all of your resources cost money, okay? And most of those things, you still need cash and fiat currency to buy said things. Some people will take silver, some people will take gold, but most of the time, people still want to take cash. So you still need to be earning cash flow to buy your resources and also, quote, be buying the gold and silver now. Because at a point, when shit hits the fan and you think you're going to be able to go out there with your shiny coin and give someone your shiny coin for a hunk of food and bullets and ammo, you're sadly mistaken. Okay, I don't think that's a real reality in a scenario that people are going to do. It's not going to work like that. I think people are naive to think that, oh yeah, I got a bunch of shiny gold coins. Yeah, they're all going to take my gold coins and they're going to give me their hard-earned resources that they stocked up on. Yeah, no, it's not probably going to happen. You right now need to be stocking up on your resources, bullets, ammo, whatever it is, all that stuff. And then you already got it. So this is just like a prepping mindset of prepping and buying the actual asset. What's the asset? Your survival. Okay, so that's the asset. So when people are saying, oh yeah, stock up on gold, silver, no, you need to be stocking up on real shit. Because guess what? I doubt people are going to take your gold shiny coin when shit's really hitting the fan. It's probably not going to happen. I'm sorry, but it's not. Were people running when the whole world shut down? Did people just start like, my gold just saved me so much? No, they were like, where's the fucking toilet paper? That was more precious than gold was toilet paper during the pandemic. Get out of my face. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. I'm not. Toilet paper was the most valuable thing. And weed. Try getting a solid bag during the lockdown. Don't even know the struggle. All right. I'm done. If I couldn't get 10 likes today from all the stuff that I just talked about today, Jesus. But whatever. It's fine. I'll be back. Like I said, you'll never get rid of me. You think you can, but it's impossible. I'm too stubborn and I will press on. But yeah, like I said, guys, you got to get the freaking live stream to 10 likes before the first 10 minutes, not in the first hour. Not in the first hour. I've been talking for an hour. Lord. All right. And did they shadow ban me today on X? They send me 2 people? Yep. See, the other day I had like 60. Bastards. But yeah, this is the Telegram group. Telegram right there. And at 10 o'clock every day, me and Headband will be in there discussing what we're strategizing on. And if you care to join, we're going to be putting these entries in. We are going to be finding the best case scenarios for being profitable in this market environment right now. We're going to be passing multiple prop evaluations, challenging ourselves, and also putting in the real trades on our platforms. You want to follow it, make sure you're following the channel, make sure you are in the Discord, and let's go. Let's take this seriously. Ticker's Bitcoin. Love you. Peace.